Today is going to be a video that I'm not looking forward to talking about. I didn't think I was going to want to talk about, but I kind of do, because I'm not happy with how network marketing makes things so much about themselves and so much about things that don't, they make them very tone deaf. And it's irritating. So I'm going to be playing for you Dre. We're gonna watch what she has to say. I'm not looking forward to it. You will probably also be greatly hurt and upset by it, because it'll more likely be a trigger warning. So just letting you know ahead of time. So we're gonna start in a few moments.
I stopped and I redirected my thought to something positive. I didn't want to give that much energy to the negative parts, because like I said, there's always going to be negative. No matter how successful you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter how big your team is, no matter how good your relationship is, how good your friendships are, there's always going to be negative in the world. Always. There's always an abundance of negativity. But what do you choose to focus on? We have the ability to create that positive abundance. You can have literally whatever it is that you want, but you have to earn it. And you have to earn it not just with your actions, but you have to earn it with your thoughts. Because abundance starts in your mind. Because most people, you see, they let what they have right now control them. They let what they have right now control how they see themselves. They let the amount of money that's in their bank account control how they see themselves today. Control how they see their value. Carlos likes that. He did one of these, okay? I love that. Give me your energy when you like something I'm saying, okay? They let what they see in their bank account control how they see themselves.
Hun, you're going to want to regret saying that, because honestly, no one's going to like what you have to say after this.
They let their friends control how they see themselves based on the critique that how many of y'all joined a network marketing business or whatever, started talking online, and your friend was like, oh, that sounds funny. Like, why are you talking like that? Like, you should say it like this, right? Drop a one in the chat, or put a hand up. All of a sudden, this person who don't even talk on their social media is telling me that I sound funny. Okay, let me hear you, Bob. Let me hear you on your stories. You know what I mean? And they're like, shit, do I sound weird? Do I sound dumb? Am I doing too much? Am I like, and you start questioning yourself. I know that's happened to a lot of you guys. All of a sudden, your friends with 300 followers who never post on their stories are social media experts. Right? You know what I mean? They don't understand that you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. And they're just triggered by the fact that they couldn't do it either, right?
I doubt they're triggered, but, you know, you do you, boo. You do you. If you think that's where it is, I think we're in high school apparently. No. More likely, it's not that. You're not that important. Sorry to put it to you, but you're not that important.
They couldn't do it either. But what I'm saying is, you let their opinion control you and control your actions and control how you see yourself. Or you let your living conditions. Maybe you don't like where you're living. Maybe you don't like the car you drive. When I started this business, I was living in my mom's basement. I had duct tape on my car window.
Anybody want to guess down below that she just took that from Jessie Lee? Just, because everybody under Jessie Lee has lived in a basement with their parents and had a very shitty car. So they just like to copy each other. It's stupid.
Maybe you're letting that control how you see yourself. Why would anybody want to work with somebody who has duct tape on their car? Why would anybody want to do business with me? I live in my mom's basement. Right? So you let your circumstances control how you see yourself. But you have to understand that you have infinite potential within you. Infinite potential within you. We have such magnificent minds, y'all. Like, we can literally think anything that we want. We are in control of those thoughts. And I'll give you a story. There's this guy named Viktor Emil Frankl. I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
Fair warning before everybody. Trigger warning. Holocaust. So, yeah. We're gonna go from here now.
He's a Holocaust survivor. Carlos said, dreaming ain't tax, so dream big. Viktor Emil Frankl is a Holocaust survivor, okay? And he's the author of a book called The Man's Search for Meaning. Yes, Kylie put it in the chat, she knows, okay, right? Man's Search for Meaning. And he spent World War II in a concentration camp. You guys all know what concentration camps are, right?
I certainly hope so.
He said in his book, the meaning of life is found in every moment of living. Life never ceases to have meaning, even in suffering and death.
Is this chick really comparing her network marketing to a concentration camp? What? No. 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 I have no words.
Meaning your life always has meaning, even in suffering. And he also said, from the freedom of choice, he always had, even in severe suffering, he always had freedom of choice. And he said, the inner hold a prisoner has on his spiritual self relies on having a hope in the future. And once that prisoner loses that hope, he is doomed. He was a prisoner, and his eye was on the future. His eye was on abundance. He did not like.
Please do not value. His book is more valuable than what she is teaching, because he actually went through real trauma and suffering and incomprehensible amount of pain and losing family. So, what? What? I don't get it. What?
Like, regardless of all of the intellectual and physical abuse that he was subjected to, he was literally treated like a dog, like a hound, right? Regardless of all of the abuse that he was subjected to for years in the concentration camp, you know what he said? He said no one could cause him to think something that he didn't want to think. That shit blew my mind. He was literally in a concentration camp, and he said they could abuse me, they could hit me, they could beat me up, they could starve me, they could abuse me in all these ways, but they cannot tell me what to think. They cannot control my thoughts. That's the only thing that I can control, no matter what. So he didn't allow anyone to control his thoughts. So during his time in the concentration camp, he had every single reason in the book to focus on the enormous, overwhelming amount of negativity around him.
That wasn't negativity. That was called pain and loss and heartbreak and no home. Nothing to go back to. Nothing. Losing your family to a concentration camp is not network marketing. No. No.
The enormous amount of negativity around him. The death, the abuse. his human rights literally stripped from him, watching other people go through the same thing right in front of his eyes, living like a dog every single day. He had literally every...
And if they're trying to compare this to vaccinations, please stop. You are not going to a concentration camp. You are not living like Germany. You're not. And I'm sorry if people do not like where I stand on that, but no, you're not. These people refuse to be doing the basic human right to people's life liberty in pursuit of what they would like to do for a vaccine. And if that's where they're going with it as well, y'all are dumb. Just saying.
Reason to focus on the lack and the limitation, but he didn't. He didn't allow the circumstance that he was in to determine his thought patterns and control his mind. Because he knew his mind was the only thing that he had complete control over. And he says this is the reason that he was able to get out and eventually live a fulfilled life. And if he can do that in a concentration camp for years, I trust and believe that you can do it here. I trust and believe that you can do it no matter what your current situation is in your life. I trust and believe that you can do the same thing for your life, for your happiness, for your business. To not allow the negative circumstances that you currently have in your life to determine your thought patterns. To not focus on the lack and the limitation. How often do we focus on the lack of success, the lack of money, the person that left us on red, the fact that nobody's messaging you, nobody's responding, the fact that your team's not working, the fact that you can't close any sales, the fact that somebody canceled on you, the fact that somebody quit, the fact that you didn't have any potentials on the call, the fact that somebody else is doing better than you, the fact that somebody's irritating you. We focus so much on the negativity, on the lack, and guess what? You will become whatever it is that you think about most. If you keep thinking about the people that don't show up, you're literally attracting more people that don't show up. If you keep thinking about the people that leave you on red, you're literally asking the universe, yo, send me more people that's gonna leave me on red. You become what you think about most. So what do you spend most of your time thinking about? And this might trigger some of y'all. Do you wake up in the morning and do your gratitude one time, and then for the rest of the day, spend your time thinking about lack? Spend your time thinking about the things that go wrong. Spend your time thinking about the things that you don't have. Because you said your little gratitude in the morning. You did your little 5-minute gratitude. And then the rest of the day, you're focusing on the things that you don't have. Y'all got me hype over here. I'm like on the side of my chair. Right? How many of us do that? How many of us are guilty of that? Put a one in the chat if you ever been guilty of that. But I did my little gratitude. What about the rest of the day? Right? If you look at what you have in life, you will always have more. Think about when you start doing that abundance. You start thinking, damn, I got hands that work. Damn, I got clean drinking water. Damn, I got 10 toes. You start thinking of random shit that you didn't even realize that you had. You're like, damn, I got a bed. I got clean sheets. I got money to buy any food that I want. And then you start thinking about, oh, damn, like, I don't have to worry about these little things. I said 10 toes, but I only have 9. I forgot about that. That I only have 9 toenails. But it's okay. We got 9 though, right? We got 9. So it's funny when you start focusing on abundance, when you start focusing on what you do have, you start realizing, damn, I got a lot. I got eyes that I can see.
It doesn't mean you get to compare those things to the Holocaust, though. It doesn't. No. None of us will fully understand and comprehend what they went through. And we should never want to, because that's messed up. Nor should we strive to feel like that is the oppression that we want to feel to validate how we act. Like, no. No. They're not comparable.
See-through, not everybody has that. Because we forget about that. We forget, because we see it every day, we forget. Right? But if you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough.
I'm pretty sure you guys have a lot and you still aren't happy with it. So, do you really have enough?
If you look at what you don't have in life, you will never have enough. Ever. So if all that you're thinking about is your problems and your lack of success, then you're going to continue to attract more lack into your life. But when you're operating at an abundant frequency, you will attract whatever.
Just shut up, please. Please stop. This useless therapy session or training that you call this does nothing. Is nothing. Proves nothing, except you're tone deaf. You are unaware of real struggles in the world, and you are just really blatantly slapping those families and those lives that were hurt by the Holocaust in the face, and anybody in general who lives differently or struggles for real.
Whatever it is that you need when you are operating at that level. I actually saw a post on Instagram the other day, and it showed the some sort of frequency when you say different things. I forgot to save the post, but when you say I can versus I can't, and it literally showed how all the positive words had a higher frequency and all the negative ones were like this, had a lower frequency. It was so interesting, right? You are literally operating, the law of attraction, right? You're literally operating at a different level when you're focusing on the abundance. When you get on calls like this, when you're feeding your mind with positivity. Right?
Toxic positivity isn't healthy. It's damaging. Not healthy. Listening to reason and hearing the possible negatives of everything is never bad. But toxic positivity is so damaging, especially in fundamentalist Christians. So, no, staying positive isn't always good.
Right? And as you start to move towards this abundant frequency, these positive thoughts, this positive energy, it starts to move towards you. Remember that you control your mind. Right? So when your mind shifts to the negativity, which it always will, because you're human, I'm human, we're all human. Remember what Eckhart Tolle said at the beginning of this call? It's a human tendency. We are all human. So when your mind starts shifting there, it's your job to redirect your focus on abundance. And you gotta use something to remind you. For me, I wrote in big letters on a billboard, redirect your thoughts to abundance. And every time I thought something, I would look over like, oh shit, let me fix this up. Let me change, let me stop thinking about this. Let me not give this more energy. Let me not give this more thought. Because the more energy I give it, the more I'm attracting it. Yeah, Natalie said something that I was gonna talk about too. Don't forget that your brain doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. Right? That's facts. That's absolutely facts, right? So, remember that you have the control over your mind. So you have to see yourself with abundance. You have to see yourself with plenty. You have to see yourself living an abundant life. You have to hold that image of your head. You have to hold that image of Alexandra with everything that she wants. That image of Veronica with everything that she wants. That image of Carlos driving that car, living in that house. Right? Yep. Skirt. I love it. Right? That image of yourself, you have to hold it in your mind so that you can start to attract it. Start creating those thoughts of abundance, of money in your life, abundance of friends, abundance of health, abundance of happiness, abundance. There's a quote, I believe it was Grant Cardone that says it is abundance, not balance. There's no such thing as balance, but you can have abundance. You can have abundance in everything. And like Natalie said, your mind literally can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality. It literally doesn't know. So if you're in debt, but you start thinking about all the money that's coming into your life, your mind doesn't know the difference. There was this, let me find this, I wrote down this affirmation. It's probably not going to load, but this affirmation in my notes that I really like. I don't remember, I can't find it, but I remember it was something like this. It was like an affirmation every single time that you spend money, and it was like every single time money leaves me, more money is on the way. And you just say that every time you spend some money. Every time money leaves me, more money is on the way. Right? So every time I'm spending, more money is on the way. I already know more money is on the way. Your mind does not know the difference. But if you focus on that debt, I don't stress over money. I never stress over money. Right? The people around me will tell you, I don't stress over it. I don't focus on the lack. I remember there was times where I didn't know how the hell I was going to pay things. I didn't.
Of course, you're not stressed over money. You are at the top 1% of iGenius by now. Because you brought over a team from on 8. We are well aware.
Not know how the hell I was like, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna pay this card. I don't know how I'm gonna pay this bill, right? I didn't know where the money was gonna come from, but I knew that if I focused on the fact that I didn't know, if I focused on the fact that it wasn't in my bank account right now, then that would literally like not attract a solution. So I would just focus on money's on the way. I don't know how, but it's gonna come. And I swear to God, every time, money just comes from a random fucking place. Like, literally. I get a random check in the mail. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, who knew that this was going to come? Or randomly something would happen where somebody that I owed money would message me like, hey, I just sent you the money that I owed you, or something that I would even forget about. And money would just show up in my account. I swear to God.
Okay, I got to read this comment because I didn't even pay attention to some of these comments. Well, I'm going to wait for CC Suarez to make a video reaction to this. Yeah! I will be excited to see that. But while, we're going to make some videos too.
Right? Because I would not stress over money. Ever. I will never stress over money. Because I know it's just going to show up. Right? It's going to show up some way. I don't know how. But it's going to show up. It's not like I'm going to say, I'm going to work towards it, but I'm not going to leave my energy on the lack, because that doesn't solve any problems for me. And money is just a piece of paper. Money is just a tool. I cannot live my life define my money. I rule money. Money doesn't rule me. Right? So that's like it with anything in your life. It's so simple. It's literally so simple. You just stop thinking about that and start thinking about the positive. And it's so simple to the point where we're listening to calls like this. And we're like, oh, yeah, this is so simple. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. But you don't actually do it. And I'm saying that because I'm you, okay? I'm a smart ass. So I'm like listening to these calls like, yeah. Okay, but I don't actually do it. You have to practice. It will not become automatic if you don't practice. And that thought pattern of, oh, it's so simple, we think we're just going to do it and we don't do it. You are where you are now because you literally haven't gotten to it yet. Because you haven't done it yet. Because you haven't practiced it yet. Knowing is not enough. Knowing a concept is not enough. You have to implement it. And in order for it to become your regular state, it has to be a reminder all the time, because you are not programmed to think abundantly. So in order to reprogram yourself, you got to put something in place that's going to remind you to redirect those thoughts every single time. I don't know if you want to put it on your mirror, put it on your wall, whatever, to redirect your thoughts every single time. And then eventually, it will start. Dre Mama joined the call. Hi, Mom. I love it. But, so, before you achieve success, guys, in your business, before you achieve success in your life, before you have a breakthrough in your personal life, in your relationships, you first have to experience it here. I'm pointing to the brain. You first have to experience it here. You first have to create that abundant reality here. Right? In anything that you do. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're thinking about changing jobs, right? You're thinking about changing jobs. You have a job and you're thinking about changing jobs. And you're like, you know what? You start thinking, there aren't enough good jobs out there. I don't have enough good skills for a different kind of job. Who am I kidding? There's way too much competition. Those are all thoughts and ideas that are based on scarcity. What you don't have. And a scarcity mindset will always see limitations instead of opportunities. I'm going to repeat that one more time. A scarcity mindset will always see limitations instead of opportunities. Instead, you got to turn those thoughts around to, wow, I have 5 years of experience. I'm going to be a huge asset if I decide to do this. If I decide to any company that I join. Over the last 5 years, I've made I've developed such essential skills, right? That I can network for my next job. So you have to literally start changing the way that you're thinking. Because when you're in that scarcity mindset, you cannot even see the opportunity that's right in front of you. You have to train your mind to recognize the opportunities, to recognize the possibilities. Because an abundance mindset allows you to see more in your life. More options, more choices, more resources, more opportunities, more for your life that you didn't see before. There was a Harvard study that said that when we focus on one particular thing very intently, other possibilities that are right in front of us go completely unnoticed. When you focus on one thing, like one thing so intently, literally other stuff that's right in front of your eyes, you don't notice. You don't notice. Right? The brain can only absorb so much. So if your belief is I can't or it's impossible, then any other thoughts that contradict those thoughts will get thrown out. Because your brain can't do all that. It will automatically start to shut out the things that are contradicting with I can't do it or it's impossible. I've seen this in myself. Y'all ever done that thing where in the gym where you jump up on the box? It's like a little like squat jump or whatever you want to call it. You jump up on the box. Bro, I remember I had it up like a certain level because you can choose like the height. I had it up at like, I don't know, level 7, for example. I came back the next week to do it again, and I was with my friend, and I couldn't do it. The week prior, I did like 3 sets of jumping on this box at the same level, and this week, I couldn't do it, and I said, oh my God, I can't do it. And I kept saying, I can't do it, and I can't do it. And my legs literally wouldn't move enough to go on there. Like, it literally blew my fucking mind.
I highly doubt that. And if you did, it's probably because you were tired and worn out after all the stuff you might have done.
That's something I did last week. I like my body couldn't do it. And I wasn't sore or anything, like, but my legs, it was just like a fear or something, and like the legs would just stop every time, and I wouldn't get on the box. And my friend was like, okay, chill out. Like, go for a walk. Relax. I started redirecting my focus. I can do this. She's like, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. Just go. And I came back and I did it. I redirected my focus. I shut off that noise in my head that was saying that I couldn't do it. I redirected my focus, and I started saying, I can do it. I'm going to do this. I did this last week. And I continued to finish my 3 sets. But for probably like 5 minutes or so, or 10 minutes, I was struggling to jump up on the box. And me and my friend were both like, what the hell's going on? You know? But your mind is such a powerful thing, guys. Your mind is such a powerful thing. Something that is so simple, you won't be able to do if your mind tells you you can't. Right? So you got to start training your mind to loosen those thoughts and to create that awareness so that you can see all of the possibilities. Right? This goes for anything. It goes for business too. Ask yourself, if you had all the time and all the money in the world and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you be doing? And those questions opened your mind to what's possible. Right? Every single thought that you have in your head is attracting something. Is attracting something. And I feel like I'm going to go a little overtime, but hopefully not. Right? Every single thought that you have is attracting something. Now, the other key thing is, you want to be, the way that you feel during your thoughts is really important as well. It's not just the thought. It's the way that they talk about this in Think and Grow Rich. Affirmation is not enough. It's how you feel when you say the affirmation. That is also very important. Okay? Somebody said, can you repeat the money affirmation? Every time money leaves me, more money is on the way. Okay? It's the way that you feel in while you're thinking these thoughts. And that determines your level of allowing it to happen or resisting it to happen. So when I say, I am super fit, for example, the feeling that I have, some of us are going to feel like, oh yes, I am. I'm happy, I'm fit, I'm getting healthy. And that feeling is going to allow that affirmation to come into your life. But if my feeling is, I'm saying I'm super fit, but in my head I'm like feeling, like I don't like my body. I'm not happy with where I'm at. But I'm just saying these affirmations to try and get out of here. You're actually.
But saying them doesn't stop you from moving forward and doing those things or keep doing them. That makes no sense. You can feel a certain way knowing you've done all the right things. It doesn't stop it from not happening. Like you said, being strong. Yeah, working out a lot will help. Just because you don't feel it that day doesn't mean it's not true.
In a state of resistance. So the feeling that you have when you say these affirmations, when you think these thoughts, is very important. A state of allowing is when you're in a happier state or in a neutral state. It's when you feel good. That's when you're in a state of allowing. That's when you allow these things to come into your life. And that's when you have no resistance. Right? You allow the things to come into your life. So master your thoughts, but also master the feelings that are combined with it. And everything else will come. When you work on this, when you work on focusing on abundance and having that good feeling with it, everything else will come. The customers, the signups, the team, the time management, whatever problem you're having outside of your life, everything else will come. When you master your thoughts, you master your mind, and things start to flow in your life. You ever had things like just flow in your life? Like you drive into a parking and all of a sudden you get the first spot, like it's just right there. Or like you wanted to do something and something just came up. Something just came, like you're, I don't know, you're about to go get a coffee and then someone already makes a coffee for you. And you're like, damn, that means you're in a state of flow.
I will mention that what was it, back in October, I went to Starbucks, like, was it 3 days in a row or so? Yeah, 3 days in a row. Because I had the availability at the time to do so, and I normally don't. I normally go to Dunkin'. I was near an area where Starbucks was, because I don't live near one. And I kid you not, the 3 times I gone, 2 times I had 2 people pay for me. Actually, wait. No, it was 3 days in a row. That's right. 3 days in a row, I had three orders paid for me each time I had gone, and they're all different Starbucks too. So, don't know why, but I did. Random thing. That's all.
That means you're in a state of allowing, and things are starting to flow into your life. The things that you are energetically requesting are starting to flow into your life when you're in that abundant state, when you're focusing on that abundance. Yeah, Carlo's the MVP right now. Loving the energy, right? So do not let these outside circumstances stop you from feeling good. Do not let everyone else control your thoughts, because they literally determine the outcome of your life. As long as you're feeling good, you will create the life that you always wanted. The time freedom, the financial freedom, living in that penthouse, having that ocean view, driving the car of your dreams, living on your own terms, spending time with your family when you please, actually living your life, not just going through the motions. That is what happens when you focus on abundance and when you choose to feel good. So do not let anything else affect your energy and your vibrations. Put yourself first, because it literally determines the outcome of your life. Like we said, I think it was on the last call, it's okay to be selfish. We're taught that being selfish is bad, but it's not. You need to be selfish in order to be selfless. You need to take care of yourself first before you can help anybody else. That's why on the airplane you put your mask on first, right? We talked about this last time. How can you help other people be abundant if you're not abundant yourself? You have to take care of yourself first. You gotta tune out those people telling you that you're not doing it right. Those people we talked about at the beginning of the call. And if he can do it in a concentration camp, and he cannot allow all of this negativity to affect him.
It wasn't negativity. Stop it already. The Holocaust is not something you just spring into a conversation and be like, yeah, okay. No. They suffered. They lost. They got, they had kids dying. They had families losing, like, wives and husbands and kids separated from their parents. Like, that's detrimental and scary. And knowing that a lot of them died having nothing to eat. So why are you pointing this in as network marketing? Like, there's nothing to compare it to. They're not the same. They're not comparable. I passionately love learning about the Holocaust in the sense that I just can't believe it even happened. And it's sad. But we have to be aware of the fact that it happened. And like, people died and lost their lives and lost everything. They had to hide from Nazis. So, yeah, it's not something you just make light of in this conversation. And I'm not going to fully play the rest of this 12 minutes that are left in this video. Normally I would, but she brought it back to the concentration camp thing again. And that's where I wanted to stop it at, because she brought it back to this, and you know what? That's stupid. This is irritating. Not even just stupid. This is infuriating, because you cannot compare the two. You cannot act as if they're really that comparable. So we're going to stop it here. All right, everybody. So that is it. That's where I'm gonna stop this video. I cannot with this. I wasn't gonna do one, but I am now because I'm pissed. And I hope everyone else realizes that this is so tone deaf and not there's no sense of empathy or understanding. So we're gonna leave it here. So if you have any comments, leave me some down below. Subscribe. I'm really trying to reach 600 by next year, hopefully, and go up from there. I I have no words, but I will see you in the next one, my beautiful creative creatures. Have a good rest of your day, night, week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.